What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of the Chatting with Cheese podcast. I'm your host, Fat Cheese, and y'all already know the motto, no gimmicks, only the real. And this is episode 81. Now, before we get started, y'all know what I need from y'all. Continue to smash that subscribe button, and I want to say that I appreciate all of y'all. We are officially at 400 subscribers. Everybody who subscribed, watched my last video, I appreciate y'all, and we finally hit it. So now let's go ahead and continue on that road, and let's get to 500 subscribers. Let's hit that milestone and, keep building this thing up. Also, do not forget, do not just watch the video. Make sure you like it. Hit that thumbs up button on the video so I can get in that algorithm. You know what I'm saying? But I got a good episode for y'all this week, so let's go ahead and jump right into it, man. So before I start this episode, I'm gonna tell y'all I'm a little bit excited because y'all know what I always say. Every single time I'm about to record, something crazy go down. So as we know, I didn't get a chance to make a video on it. It wasn't on my last episode because by the time it had happened after I had already recorded, you know what I'm saying? But I did talk about on my last episode of where could Max Crosby possibly land. So after I ended up recording, the Baltimore Ravens ended up making a trade for Max Crosby, giving up 2 first-round picks, their first-round pick this year and first round the next year, and, getting Max Crosby in the deal. Right before I just started recording, literally, news just broke that the Baltimore Ravens have officially backed out of the Max Crosby trade. So Max Crosby technically is still a Las Vegas Raider. The Ravens backed out of the deal. The internet is going crazy. Everybody trying to figure out what's going on. So I'm not going to be able to tell y'all what's going on right now because I'm clearly recording and I can't, keep up with updates and stuff like that. But that is absolutely crazy. So excuse me if I'm fumbling over some words or something like that because I'm excited. For those of y'all who know, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan and I want Max Crosby. So hopefully, something is about to go down. But hey, I just had to let y'all know that. So this right here is crazy. So if I'm a little excited or stumbling over some words, my apologies. I'm just happy. But let's go ahead and jump right into this episode, man. We might as well call this the free agency episode. I don't really have no basketball to talk for y'all on this week, but free agency did officially kick off on Monday. The legal tampering period where free agents are able to negotiate and basically not officially sign but agree to deals with teams. So it was a lot of excitement going on yesterday and today. But the first topic I'm going to kick the episode off with is who won day one of the NFL free agency, which was Monday, the official legal tampering period. And for me, I went the Las Vegas Raiders. So let me jump into this article and then I'll go ahead and give y'all my thoughts on it. So the Las Vegas Raiders made a big move in free agent signing center Tyler Linderbaum to a 3-year, $81 million deal with $60 million guaranteed. The contract makes Linderbaum the highest paid center in the NFL, passing Creed Humphrey of the Kansas City Chiefs, who previously held that spot with a 4-year, $72 million deal. Now, I believe that makes Tyler Linderbaum the highest paid signing center in NFL history. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on that, but I think that is what it is. Linderbaum spent the first part of his career with the Baltimore Ravens, who reportedly offer him 4 years for $88 million, but the Raiders offer more money per year in a shorter deal, giving him a chance to hit free agency again sooner. The 3-time Pro Bowler now joins a Raiders team that's rebuilding and expected to draft quarterback Fernando Mendoza with the number 1 pick in the upcoming 2026 NFL Draft. Since being drafted in 2022 out of the University of Iowa, Linderbaum has been one of the best centers in football. He's made the Pro Bowl 3 out of 4 years in the NFL and has been a key blocker, helping open up lanes for players like Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. He's also been very durable, missing only 2 games in his NFL career. Now the Raiders are hoping he can anchor the offensive line and help build around the next franchise quarterback. The Las Vegas Raiders didn't just make moves on the offense, they also loaded up on defense. The Raiders agreed to deals with linebacker Nakobe Dean from the Philadelphia Eagles and Quay Walker from the Green Bay Packers. They also re-signed pass rusher Malcolm Kuntz earlier in the day. Las Vegas also signed pass rusher Kwity Paye from the Indianapolis Colts and also re-signed cornerback Eric Stokes and traded for cornerback Teron Johnson from the Buffalo Bills. Dean and Walker, who were teammates at the University of Georgia, also Eric Stokes was a part of that team too, now gives the Raiders 2 experienced linebackers as the team moves to a 3-4 defensive scheme. Dean agreed to a 3-year, $36 million deal. He started 27 games in his career but has dealt with injuries, missing 21 games since college. Walker, the Packers' 2022 first-round pick, has started 57 games in Green Bay. He signed a 3-year, $40.5 million contract with the Las Vegas Raiders after the Packers declined not to pick up his 5th-year option. Meanwhile, Kuntz returned on a 1-year, $11 million deal. He finished the 2023 season strong but missed all of 2024 with a torn ACL and had just 4.5 sacks in 2025. The Raiders are hoping he can bounce back. Overall, Las Vegas has already committed nearly $290 million in contracts as they continue their rebuild. So my thoughts, I feel like the Las Vegas Raiders did a hell of a job day one of free agency. I think that they went out there and addressed some major needs, especially on, I love the Lindenbaum signing. I love getting a center, one of the best centers in football, and being that centerpiece of the offensive line. And now you have that anchor in the middle and you just build around it. I know Ashton Genty had to be smiling from ear to ear when he seen that they signed Tyler Lindenbaum and, to a huge contract. And I read earlier that a lot of teams were shocked by the deal, but I don't think people understand the way that offensive line looked. I don't know how many of y'all watch Las Vegas Raiders games last year, but the way that offensive line looked, that was some money well spent. I think you get a guy with experience. He's played for a winning organization in the Baltimore Ravens, so he could bring some of that winning culture over. He's one of the best centers in football, and he can help, especially the simple fact that the Raiders are going to be, we all know they're going to be drafting Mendoza with the number 1 overall pick. You have a rookie quarterback, so to pair him with a reliable, a good center, I think those two things go hand in hand, and I think that's just going to help them along the way with this rebuild. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I love the pickups of Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker. The only concern with Nakobe Dean for me is the injuries. He has been injured for, a lengthy part of his career from college in the NFL. But one thing I do know, when Nakobe Dean is on the field, he makes an impact. Whether you sending him on blitzes, I don't know how good his coverage skills is, but I know as far as blitzing, being able to, lay the hammer when he's there, make big hits, I think Nakobe Dean is solid, and he can be that on-field general for that defense. Also, Quay Walker, I think the same thing. I think he's one of those guys, not that good in coverage, but I believe he can come down, lay the hammer. I think that he can be a very good vocal leader for that linebacker group and also the defense. I like it. I like both of those picks. I think those three names, which I believe were the biggest signings for the Raiders, I think those are some solid ones. But I love the Lindenbaum pick, not only for Mendoza, who's going to be the quarterback when they draft him late in April, but for Ashton Genty. You drafted Ashton Genty last year, number 6 overall, to come in and be an impact player on that offense. He was not able to do that because that offensive line was putrid. You add Lindenbaum to that mix, who has blocked for Lamar Jackson, who has blocked for guys like Derrick Henry. He can bring over that winning pedigree that he had in Baltimore, and I think that's going to help Ashton Genty a ton, and that's going to help your rookie quarterback. Now you have a solid center that's going to be, getting everything lined up, helping you out along the way, and also I think it's going to benefit Ashton Genty in the backfield. Now, with the Max Crosby news just coming out, I was going to come on here and say, I wasn't one of those people that was against them trading Max Crosby. I still believe Max Crosby will get dealt, but I wasn't against that. I said during the trade deadline that Max Crosby should have been on the block for the Raiders to trade him because he's your most valuable asset to get picks, especially everybody sees the Raiders is trying to rebuild. Now, I don't know how things are going to go now since the Ravens have officially backed out of the deal. I still believe that they can get 2 first-round picks or maybe a first-rounder this year and something maybe next year. I don't know because, like I said, everything just happened. But regardless of what, I think that they will be able to get another first-rounder this year. And if you compare Mendoza up, who I believe they're going to draft, with one of those top wide receivers, I think that is a formula for success. I think give it about maybe not this year. Give it about a year. Maybe we could see a turnaround this year. But for a fact, if not this year, within the next year, I think we could be looking at the Raiders as a legit team in the AFC, honestly, because I love what they did in this free agent period. This is what teams are supposed to do when you have a boatload of money to spend. You go attack free agency, and I think that they did a hell of a job in that, bringing home some of the top free agents this year. You know what I'm saying, in this free agent pool. And also, I like the addition of Kwity Paye. I think he can come in and be a depth piece on that defensive line, a solid edge rusher. I like that move a lot too. But I think the Raiders are moving in the right direction. I don't like nothing that. I don't think I think they hit. I think now we have to see how it play out, because you know how things can look good on paper, but we got to see how they play out. But I think the main three, I love the Lindenbaum pickup. I love the Kobe Dean pickup, and I love the Quay Walker pickup. I think that this is going to be good for the Raiders. Now we got to see what's going to happen now with the whole Max Crosby thing, but I think this is going to be good for the Raiders. I think the Raiders are absolutely headed in the right direction. So, Raiders fans, I know it's been a little rough, but everything that I'm seeing, I think that we could actually be looking at this team being competitive maybe as early as this year, but if not this year, somewhere in the near future. But I like it. So, for me, I think the Raiders won day one of free agency. I give them an A+. I like everything they did, man. I especially like that Tyler Lindenbaum pickup, though, because I feel like having a solid center, I think people undervalue that. I don't think people understand how important that is, and especially giving that to a rookie quarterback. I think that's going to pay huge dividends, man. That's why the Ravens, they offered them, but the Raiders were willing to break the bank. But y'all let me know down in the comment section. Do y'all feel like the Raiders won day one? It may be another team. Let me know what y'all think. But for me, I think that the Las Vegas Raiders were the winners of day one of free agency. Moving on to some other big news that happened in free agency. Long time future Hall of Famer wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mike Evans, decided to leave Tampa Bay and head to San Francisco to suit up for the 49ers next year. So, the San Francisco 49ers made a big move day one of free agency by signing star wide receiver Mike Evans to a 3-year deal. The future Hall of Famer spent his entire career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where he won a Super Bowl, made 6 Pro Bowls, and had 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Evans was one of the best players in Buccaneers history after being drafted in 2014, but after dealing with injuries and getting later in his career, he decided he wanted a new challenge. Even though Tampa Bay tried hard to re-sign him, Evans chose to test free agency and start a new chapter. His agent said the decision wasn't about money. Evans simply wanted something different to push himself before he retires. For the 49ers, this is huge. This is a huge pickup, with questions around receivers like Juwan Jennings and Brandon Ayuk. Evans gives quarterback Brock Purdy a proven number 1 target. If he can stay healthy, he should play a major role in San Francisco's offense this season. So for me, I'm going to be honest, this was a shock. All along, I seen reports of the possibility of Mike Evans leaving or exploring, what his market value may have been, but I never thought in a million years that I would see Mike Evans leave Tampa Bay. Mike Evans seemed like one of those guys. He will retire Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Like, he would play his whole career there and, end up retiring, going into the sunset. We know he's a future Hall of Famer with the career that he's had there. And, it caught me by surprise, but I don't really blame Mike Evans. I think it's a solid decision for Mike Evans. I think when you look at the Buccaneers, and I'm glad that his agent clarified that it wasn't about money. he said it was about, Mike Evans wanting to challenge himself and things like that. But I think in all reality, what it really was, and I don't know this to be a fact, this is just what I feel. I think Mike Evans just wanted a chance to compete before he calls it a career. I don't think he believes Tampa Bay can compete for a Super Bowl as long as Todd Bowles is the head coach there. And I think he probably seen what San Francisco did last year with the plethora of injuries that they had. They were still able to make the playoffs, go on the road in a hostile environment in Philadelphia. Say whatever you want about Philly. Everybody knows it's hard to win in Philly. They went in a hostile environment in Philly, undermanned, and was able to win that ball game. Yes, did they get blown out in the divisional round by the Seattle Seahawks? Absolutely. But what they were able to do with the man, they were literally pulling guys up, practice squad guys you never heard of, and Kyle Shanahan was able to make it work. I think Mike Evans seen that with Kyle Shanahan was able to do. There were people saying Kyle Shanahan deserved Coach of the Year. I was one of those people saying that he deserved Coach of the Year for the things that he the things that he was able to do with that team. You know what I'm saying? With all the injuries. And I think Mike Evans seen that and said, you know what? I think if I can go over there with that head coach, they have Christian McCaffrey. Brock Purdy is a solid quarterback. You don't know the situation with Brandon Ayuk. Jawan Jennings, I believe, is a free agent, so you don't know what'll end up happening with him. George Kittle ruptured his Achilles. You don't know his situation. I think I can go over there, be that legitimate number one for Brock Purdy, be productive as long as he can stay healthy. And I think San Francisco will be competitive in the NFC again next year. And I don't blame him. I mean, Todd Bowles, it was a shocker to me that Tampa Bay decided to bring Todd Bowles back, because I just don't see it with Todd Bowles. I mean, with the weapons that Tampa Bay has over there, it's just some of those losses. And they did deal with injuries a lot last year too. Mike Evans missed some time. Emeka Egbuka missed some time. What's my man in the back? Bucky Irvin missed some time. So they dealt with injuries too. But Todd Bowles is 1-3 in the playoffs as their head coach. They didn't make the playoffs this past year, and they also was eliminated in the wild card round by the Washington Commanders the year before last. So Mike Evans is probably looking at all that, and I believe he loves Tampa Bay. I believe he would want his career to end in Tampa Bay, but he's getting older. He's getting up there, and you only have but so many cracks at it to actually compete to win a championship. And I think Mike Evans seen that. And I think that he felt like going to Tampa Bay with Kyle Shanahan and what they have, he would have a better chance to compete for a Super Bowl than he would in Tampa Bay. And I think that's the ultimate reason why he left. Now, I could be all the way off, but that's just what I feel. Because Tampa Bay, from everything that I read, Tampa Bay offered him lucrative contracts. They offered him good contracts. He just decided not to go elsewhere. So it had to be something else other than, of course, his agent said it himself that it wasn't about the money. So if it wasn't about the money, it had to be something else. It had to be either him not believing in the head coach or something with the front office or something. But I'm going to lean more towards the fact he looked at it and said, Kyle Shanahan, Todd Bowles. Which one? I would rather have Kyle Shanahan. I know a lot of y'all that's going to look at this, y'all probably would rather have Kyle Shanahan as well. So I'm not mad at Mike Evans' decision. I wish him nothing but the best. I think he can go over there with Brock Purdy and be very productive. He's going to get a boatload of opportunities with no George Kittle. Brandon Ayuk is more than likely on his way out the door. You don't know what's going to happen with Jawan Jennings. So he goes over there, automatically becomes the number one guy, automatically going to get a boatload of work. With Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, he going to get a lot of one-on-one coverage because they're going to have to load that box up to try to stop Christian McCaffrey. And I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work out fine with him over there. With Tampa, you have Emeka Egbuka. Emeka Egbuka looked real good last year. He was solid. So, you over there competing with him with targets. And I don't think Mike Evans is a selfish guy like that, worrying about targets and things like that. I legitimately just think he felt like he would have a better chance to compete for a Super Bowl if he went over to San Francisco. And I'm not all the way mad at that. So it was shocking to me when I seen it yesterday. But after sitting back thinking about it, I think I'm on Mike Evans' side with this one. I think Mike Evans made a solid decision. Since Kyle Shanahan has been the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, I mean, they've been successful. Since Kyle Shanahan has been the coach for majority, they have been successful. So I can't wait to see how that thing plays out. But I think they got something cooking over there in San Francisco. And for Tampa Bay, I mean, you still have Chris Godwin, you still have Bucky Irvin in the backfield, you still have Emeka Egbuka, who looked like a rising star last year. So I don't think Tampa Bay is going to miss a beat either. I think that offense can still be explosive. You still have Baker Mayfield, who's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So I don't think Tampa Bay takes too far of a step back, but I'm just not a huge believer in Todd Bowles. I gotta be honest. I'm not a huge believer in him. It honestly shocked me that they decided to stick with Todd Bowles, but that's the ultimate decision that they made, and I guess they gotta stick with it. And Mike Evans is now moving on, so I can't wait to see how things play out for both teams. I actually gotta check to see if they play each other this year, because if they play each other this year, I'm definitely gonna be locked into that game. Moving on. Next up, so Tua Tagovailoa found out yesterday that the Miami Dolphins will be moving on from him. They will be releasing Tua Tagovailoa. He plans on signing a 1-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons. But this topic that I have is not about Tua Tagovailoa. It's about the guy that will be replacing him. It is about Malik Willis. So Malik Willis signed yesterday with the Miami Dolphins. It's looking like, to me, he's going to be the starting quarterback, and he's going to get a second chance to be a starter in the NFL again. So the topic that I have is, can Malik Willis revive his career in Miami? The Miami Dolphins may have found their new quarterback. The team agreed to a deal with free agent quarterback Malik Willis on Monday, just hours after announcing they were moving on from Tua Tagovailoa after 6 seasons. Reports say Willis signed a 3-year, $67.5 million contract with Miami. The former Liberty Flames quarterback now has a real chance to become a full-time starter in the NFL. He was originally drafted by the Tennessee Titans in the 3rd round, but things didn't fully work out there while he sat behind Ryan Tannehill and later competed with Will Levis. Willis spent time with the Green Bay Packers, mostly backing up Jordan Love. He played in 11 games, started 3, and finished with 972 passing yards and 6 touchdowns. Now in Miami, Willis will likely get a real shot to compete for the starting quarterback job. So my thoughts on this: first and foremost, I want to say congratulations to Malik Willis. I'm glad that he was able to get a second opportunity to possibly be a starter in the NFL. He came in this past season when Jordan Love went down with an injury, and he looked solid. For me, everybody, I think now with what people seen Sam Darnold do this past season, and even before that, we seen Sam Darnold revive his career in Minnesota, piggybacked off of that and went and signed a big deal in Seattle, and now Sam Darnold is a Super Bowl champion. And if somebody would have told you that the way the trajectory his career was on, nobody would have believed you. So I think Miami may have seen that. They seen what Malik Willis did in his opportunities coming in for Jordan Love, and they said, why not? But I just want you to know, being a starter and being a backup, the level of expectations are completely different. Teams are not scheming for you when you're the backup. You know what I'm saying? They're not really scheming that well for you. Whereas though when you're the starter, you are the film study. Teams are scheming to stop you. So I think that pressure on Malik Willis is definitely going to be more intensified now that he is going to be, because they saying that it's a possibility. I believe he will be the starter for the Miami Dolphins. I think the pressure definitely will be intensified. But the good thing is, the Miami's new head coach, Jeff Hafley, was the former defensive coordinator for the Packers. So he kind of knows or has a good feel for Malik Willis. Maybe some things he can do, maybe some things he's not that good at. And I think that he can benefit from that. They still have Waddle over there, who I believe is a solid receiver. They also have HN in the backfield, who last year played out of his mind, was a Pro Bowler. So they have some solid pieces in Miami. Hopefully, him being able to sit behind Jordan Love, be in that Matt LaFleur system, maybe, that helped them mature a little bit, see things a little different. Like I said when I talked about Sam Darnold, I think the best thing that could have happened for Sam Darnold was having that chance to go sit behind Kyle Shanahan and learn, get some more wisdom and things like that. And I think the same thing could be said possibly for Malik Willis. Matt LaFleur kind of comes from that coaching tree with Kyle Shanahan and things like that. So hopefully Will Levis' time spent there, him being able to compress, get his thoughts together and go out there. When he went out there and did play for the Packers, he looked solid. He looked more polished. I would say that he looked more polished. And hopefully, he can go to Miami and have that same confidence that he had in Green Bay when he got his shot. And now you're getting a second shot in the NFL to be a starter. Hopefully, he makes the best of it. So I'm happy for him. I think Miami is the same as the Raiders. They just are in complete rebuild, trying to build that thing back up and, starting off fresh. I agree with the move to move on from Tua. I think we seen what we seen from Tua. We know what Tua is. He parlayed what he did to a second contract, and after that, it just enough was enough. I never really was too much of a big believer in Tua. I think Tua is I think he's an average, below average quarterback. He can give you a play every now and again, but I don't see Tua as a franchise quarterback. Malik Willis, him getting a second chance, I think a lot of people, after what they just seen from Sam Darnold, I think a lot of people would say Sam Darnold is possibly a franchise quarterback now. So who's to say Malik Willis could come there, turn his career around, and who knows, we could be looking at Malik Willis as the franchise quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. So I'm happy for him. I'm glad he was able to, get a good payday. And also another good thing, he didn't sign a long-term deal. He only signed for 3 years. So let's just say Malik Willis goes in there, balls out of his mind. He gets another bite at the apple and could sign for a mega deal. So I think it worked out for both sides. Miami gets a chance to look at him and see if he's their guy, and Malik Willis gets a chance to go there, show that he can be a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL and possibly, become a franchise quarterback and get that big payday that, he's always probably been looking for since he's been in the league and become the face of a franchise. So I think it will work good for both parties, man. And I'm happy for Malik Willis. I'm glad that he was able to, get a deal done. I was kind of shocked when I seen a report probably a couple of weeks ago when they said he would probably get $30 million from a team. I was like, whoa, because I'm like, I didn't see that. But hey, man, that quarterback market is real crazy, and when a team needs a quarterback, they willing to pay a pretty penny. So shout out to Malik Willis. I'm definitely gonna be paying attention to the Miami Dolphins this year, and I can't wait to see if he can turn things around there. All right, man, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. That is it for episode 81. I appreciate y'all for topping in with me each and every week. Y'all know where to find me. Like I said, man, I appreciate all of y'all who have hit that subscribe button. We did reach 400 subscribers. We are also, I'm sorry. Like I said, y'all know I'm still excited from that news I told y'all, but now we are on the road to 500. So if you haven't subscribed and you happen to see this video, do not forget to smash that subscribe button. Also, do not forget to like this video, hit that thumbs up button, get me in the algorithm, man. And now I'm done with this. I'm about to go find out what's going on with Max Crosby. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next time.